On this day in 1867, the Augsburg established the dual monarchy of Austria-Hungary. The Empire of Austria, as an official designation of the territories ruled by the Habsburg monarchy, dates to 1804. After the fall of Napoleon in 1815, Austria became the leader of the German states, but the Austro-Prussian War of 1866 resulted in expulsion of Austria from the German Confederation and caused Emperor Franz Joseph to reorient his policy towards the east and to consolidate his heterogeneous empire. Even before the war, the necessity of coming to terms with the rebellious Hungarians has been recognized. The outcome of the negotiations was the Augsburg, concluded on February 8, 1867. The agreement was a compromise between the emperor and Hungary, not between Hungary and the rest of the empire. Indeed, the peoples of the empire were not consulted, despite Franz Joseph's earlier promise not to make further constitutional changes without the advice of the imperial parliament, the Reichsrat. Hungary received full internal autonomy together with a responsible ministry, and in return agreed that the empire should still be a single great state for purposes of war and foreign affairs. Franz Joseph thus surrendered his domestic prerogatives in Hungary, including his protection of non-Magyar people, in exchange for the maintenance of dynastic prestige abroad. The common monarchy consisted of the emperor and his court, the minister for foreign affairs, and the minister of war. The common affairs were to be considered at the delegation, composed of representatives from the two parliaments. The Augsburg came into force when passed as a constitutional law by the Hungarian parliament in March 1867. The Reichsrat was only permitted to confirm the Augsburg without amending it. In return for this, the German liberals, who composed its majority, received certain concessions. The rights of the individuals were secured, and a genuinely impartial judiciary was created. Freedom of belief and of education was guaranteed. The ministers, however, were still responsible to the emperor, not to a majority of the Reichsrat. The official name of the state, shaped by the Augsburg, was Austria-Hungary. The Kingdom of Hungary had a name, a king, and a history of its own. The rest of the empire was a casual agglomeration without even a clear description. Technically, it was known as the kingdoms and land represented in Reichsrat, or more shortly, as the other imperial half. Names all strictly incorrect until the title Empire of Austria was restricted to the other imperial half in 1915. The Habsburg Empire collapsed in 1918.